Guys, a demon just spoke through Toni Braxton, and I'm shook.
Okay, I gotta call you back. I'm about to have Bible study.
Why?
Cause I'm saved.
Well, not church.
Just my
Holy,
faith.
Because I'm a person that don't go to church.
Right.
You know?
Guys, a demon just spoke through Toni Braxton, and I'm shook.
The Braxton family always appeared like this flawless, picture-perfect squad. Same voices, same smiles, same shiny TV moments. Like everything was always sweet. But behind those bright lights was a storm nobody on the outside ever imagined. And now, Tamar Braxton is finally pulling that curtain wide open, letting people see the real mess hiding underneath. Tamar has been dropping hints for months, acting like something wasn't sitting right in that family circle. But this new reveal, it hits different. She's not holding anything back anymore. No soft filters, no cute edits, no Hollywood script.
Read the word. Because it's important to know the word. How else we gonna battle all these demons and witchcraft? How else you gonna do it?
There are other books.
Girl, get off of my phone, girlfriend. Get off of my phone. I'll call you back.
I mean, that book was written by racist white
Girl, goodbye, girl. I'll call you in an hour.
She's talking about how fame didn't just shift things for the Braxtons, it straight up cracked their bond. And right in the middle of this whole story is Tracy Braxton, the sister many fans felt got pushed to the back while Toni Braxton kept moving up the industry ladder. People always whispered about it, but now Tamar is spelling it out loud and clear. For years, Toni Braxton was seen as the powerhouse, the superstar whose success opened doors for everybody else. She had the voice, the look, the awards, the presence, everything that made her the one the industry wanted to spotlight. And let's be real, the music world only ever tries to crown one main star at a time. But Tamar is saying this shine came with shadows. Shadows that hit her sisters in ways the public never saw. She's claiming the family wasn't standing shoulder to shoulder like fans believed. She's calling out how certain people got pushed to the side while others got lifted up. And she's telling it all with zero fear. Everything she's dropping right now has people looking at the Braxtons in a whole new way. This isn't just family drama. This is decades of silence cracking open. But while Toni was climbing toward global fame, her sisters, especially Tracy, were stuck fighting a quiet battle that nobody around them seemed to take seriously. They were struggling in the shadows while the spotlight kept drifting farther away. Now, Tamar is blasting the truth wide open, claiming there were decisions made behind closed doors that didn't just hurt Tracy. They pushed her right out of the picture. And according to Tamar, that moment left a mark on Tracy that she never fully healed from. It wasn't some small disagreement. It was a hit that changed her whole path. Even when the cameras were rolling and fans tried to read between the lines, everybody could sense something was off. You could feel the tension, even when the family tried to smile through it. But Tamar is revealing something way deeper, something that makes it sound like Tracy was pushed aside emotionally, professionally, and personally so that Toni's star could keep glowing without interruption. And the way Tamar is talking about it now feels different. It's not messy drama. It's not attention hunting. No shade for the internet. It sounds like she's finally grieving a truth she tried to bury for years. She's been speaking on interviews and live streams, dropping comments that had fans stunned, making people say things like, yo, maybe the Braxton story wasn't as tight as it looked. People are starting to realize this wasn't a sweet sisterhood fairy tale. It might have been a survival story inside an industry that only lets one person shine at a time. Tamar is hinting that the sisters weren't walking step for step together. Some were getting held back while others got pushed forward. And she's saying all this like she's finally tired of carrying the weight of silence. This whole situation has fans looking at the Braxton legacy with brand new eyes. Every word Tamar drops hits harder than the last. What made Tracy's situation hit even harder was the timing. When the Braxton sisters finally got their first real shot as a group, Tracy was more than ready. She had the voice, the energy, the stage presence, everything needed to stand front and center. But the label stepped in and decided they wanted the sisters, just not her. Tracy was expecting a child at the time, and the executives flipped that into the perfect excuse to cut her out of the deal. That one decision didn't only flip Tracy's career, it changed the whole direction of her life. And Tamar is saying the family went along with it because everyone thought Toni's success was going to open doors for the rest of them later on. But that future lane never came for Tracy. Instead, she ended up pushed deep into the background while Toni became the main face of the family and the whole industry machine started moving in her direction. And the situation wasn't just about fame. It was about money, power, and how the entertainment world loves building everything around one chosen one. Tamar hinted that the people running things around Toni made it clear the Braxton brand had to be centered on one star if they wanted the big push. And when a system works like that, somebody always ends up left standing outside the circle. Tamar's words make it sound like Tracy got caught in the middle of pressure she never asked for. While the industry locked in on Toni, Tracy was stuck fighting for space that never opened up. Fans are now looking back at old moments with fresh eyes, realizing this wasn't just a career setback. It was a long-term wound that changed everything for her. Every detail Tamar shares paints the picture bigger, louder, and more heartbreaking. The story hits different when you realize how easily one choice behind closed doors can change a whole life. Tamar never said the word sacrifice, but she didn't need to. The way she laid everything out had fans putting the pieces together instantly. The picture was loud and clear. Toni's rise didn't come free. Somebody paid a heavy price. And for Tracy, that price was watching the dream she built since she was young slip right out of her hands. Even when the family came back together years later for Braxton Family Values, people could still feel that weight on Tracy. It wasn't something she could hide behind jokes or tough energy. You could see it in her eyes. She wasn't just the funny one, not just the strong one. She was the sister who knew exactly what it felt like to be pushed away from the thing she loved the most, and that pain never left her. Tamar opened up about how Tracy felt like the industry never treated her fairly, like the doors that swung open for everyone else somehow stayed locked when it came to her. And the part that hit the hardest? Tamar said Tracy believed her own family didn't fight for her when she needed them the most. That truth shook Tamar in a way she couldn't ignore. Tamar admitted that the thing that haunts her isn't the fame, the deals, or the spotlight. It's the moment she understood that Tracy didn't need validation from the world. She needed her sisters to have her back. She needed real support, not promises or camera-ready smiles. On the show, people always joked that Tracy had the biggest heart, that she loved hard, forgave fast, and kept trying to hold the peace, even when she was the one hurting. And hearing Tamar talk about it now makes those old moments hit so much deeper. It's like the audience is finally seeing the real truth behind that smile. But Tamar's new comments made fans look at everything with fresh eyes. Suddenly, people realized Tracy wasn't just the peacekeeper. She was the one who ended up paying the cost so the family could even get a foot in the music world. Tamar said it straight without dodging anything. Tracy should have been standing right there with them from the very beginning. She had the talent, the grind, and the dedication, but the industry didn't want her included, and that hit different. And instead of pushing back, the family went along with the plan because nobody wanted to risk losing the opportunity they were finally getting. Tamar said the guilt didn't hit her all at once. It grew heavier every year, like a truth she couldn't escape anymore. When Tracy passed away, Tamar said the world finally saw it for what it was. The sister who got pushed aside deserved so much more. And it wasn't about jealousy or personal beef, none of that. According to Tamar, it was because the industry forced the Braxtons to make a choice, And that choice wasn't fair to Tracy at all. Tamar's voice even cracked when she talked about how Tracy never got all her flowers, not because she lacked talent, but because the door was shut long before she ever had a real chance to walk through it. And now Tamar is speaking loud because, in her words, the world needs to understand that Tracy's story wasn't just some heartbreaking moment. It was a warning, a real warning about how fame can twist things inside a family, how the industry can take loyalty, flip it around, and force people to choose sides they never wanted to choose. Tamar is saying this isn't just old drama. It's about what fame can take from siblings, from love, from something that can't be replaced once it's gone. She's making sure people know Tracy wasn't forgotten by accident. She was left outside because the machine demanded it. And hearing Tamar say that now has fans shaken because it shows how real the pressure was behind the scenes. Tamar didn't hold a single thing back this time. She peeled those layers off like she was tired of carrying the weight. She said that what happened after Tracy got pushed out didn't just stay in the 90s. It followed the sisters for decades. It slid into every reunion, every studio session, every family sit-down they tried to fix like a shadow that refused to leave. Tamar explained that every time the family came together to work, there was this unspoken tension hanging in the room. A tension nobody dared to admit out loud. And here's the wildest part. Tamar claims everybody knew exactly where it came from. Everybody felt it, everybody recognized it, but nobody wanted to be the one to finally call it out. She said Tracy wasn't upset because she didn't become some huge superstar. That wasn't the issue at all. She was hurt because the people she trusted the most didn't stand up for her when it mattered the most. And Tamar is admitting that straight up for the first time, without dodging, without spinning it, just.
Tamar said she remembers times when Tracy would show up excited, ready to rehearse, ready to record, ready to be part of the dream again. She came in with hope, with energy, with that fire still lit inside her. And Tamar said, looking back now, that memory hits her with a different kind of pain, because she knows how much Tracy wanted to belong to something that pushed her away. And just like that, the whole vibe would switch up the moment someone from the label stepped in and made it clear that Tracy didn't fit the image they wanted. That line stuck in Tamar's mind for years, fit the image. She said that was the moment she finally understood the industry wasn't just shaping their careers, it was shaping their entire family rhythm too. Tamar revealed that Tracy carried that rejection like a shadow she couldn't shake off. Even when she tried to laugh it away or act like she was keeping the peace, the hurt stayed right under the surface. And when Braxton Family Values finally came around, fans thought this was it, the big redemption arc, the moment all the sisters would shine together like they should have from day one. It looked like the perfect chance to rewrite the past. But Tamar said filming didn't fix things. It exposed more cracks than anything else. She claims producers loved stirring up drama between her and Tracy because the tension was already sitting there waiting. It was decades old, never handled, and way too easy for TV to twist into storylines. And every argument they had on camera wasn't really about what the audience saw. Those moments were old wounds bubbling back up with no place left to hide. Tamar said the yelling, the frustration, the heated moments, they were really about years of Tracy not being heard, not being understood, and not feeling supported like everyone else. It wasn't about fame or spotlight. It was about respect and acknowledgement she never fully got. Then Tamar admitted something she had never said this clearly before. Tracy always felt like everyone else had moved on without her. She didn't get the tours. She didn't get the spotlight. She didn't get the push the others received. Tamar said once the cameras were rolling, she finally realized how deep that pain ran, and it changed the way she looked at everything they went through. Tamar explained that the show didn't reveal new problems, it just exposed the ones that were already sitting there for years. And hearing her talk about it now makes every old moment hit a lot harder. And even when Tracy did every single thing the industry asked for, the dieting, the training, the rehearsals, she still got treated like she was just an extra instead of a full Braxton sister. Tamar said as she got older, she finally understood how unfair that was, and it made her mad at herself for staying quiet for so long. She said Tracy kept showing up, even when she knew the treatment wasn't equal, and that kind of loyalty hits completely different now that Tracy is no longer here. But the moment that shook fans the hardest was when Tamar spoke on Toni's opportunities, the huge ones. Tamar said there were plenty of chances where Toni could have insisted that Tracy be included, whether it was tours, background vocals, appearances, or brand deals. She hinted that Toni's team was constantly pushing her to keep the spotlight clean and uncluttered, like adding Tracy into the mix would complicate the image they were selling. She explained that Toni wasn't allowed to shake up the system, and that pressure ended up keeping Tracy out of rooms she deserved to be in. And while Tamar didn't point a finger at Toni in a harsh way, she didn't hide from the truth either. She said Toni was the only one who had enough power to push back, and sometimes she just didn't. Not because she didn't care about Tracy, not because she didn't love her, but because the industry made her feel like standing up would put everything she worked for at risk. Tamar said that kind of pressure can twist anybody up. When you're told your whole career depends on keeping things perfect, it makes you hesitate even when your heart is telling you to do the right thing. And hearing Tamar admit that now has fans looking at the whole Braxton story through a different lens. She painted a picture of a family caught in a system that forced them to make choices nobody ever should have to make. And in the middle of it all was Tracy, showing up, staying loyal, and trying to belong in a space that never fully opened its doors to her. And that's the part that hit Tamar the hardest. The idea that their eldest sister, the one with the biggest influence, the one whose name carried real weight, didn't realize how deep the situation cut Tracy until it was already too late. Tamar talked about how in later years, Tracy would speak on feeling like she was always trying to catch up, like she missed a train that never circled back for her. And hearing that now breaks Tamar in a way she can barely even explain. Tamar says she finally understands that Tracy never wanted pity. She wanted fairness. She wanted recognition. She wanted respect. She just wanted to feel like she belonged in the same dream she helped build. And Tamar revealed something that shook a lot of people. The family didn't truly grasp how heavy Tracy's pain was until her final years. She said that during those later moments, Tracy started opening up more, letting out feelings she had kept locked inside for decades. Not to restart old drama, not to point fingers, but because she wanted peace before her time was up. And Tamar said one thing she'll carry forever is how Tracy didn't want anyone to feel guilty. She didn't try to blame her sisters for chasing the opportunities in front of them. She simply wished the dream could have included her, too. And that type of strength, holding no grudges after everything she went through, made Tamar see Tracy in a whole new light, almost like she was the quiet glue the family didn't even realize they needed until she was gone. When Tamar finally spoke up about all this, the internet exploded. Fans started pulling up old clips of Tracy, moments of her laughing, crying, walking away from arguments, or staying silent when things got heavy. And suddenly those scenes looked different. People were rewinding old episodes with brand new understanding, catching signs they didn't recognize before. Social media was filled with comments saying stuff like, "We didn't know she was carrying all that," and "Tracy deserved better." Tamar's honesty cracked open a conversation fans had been whispering about for years, and now it was finally out in the open for everyone to see. And suddenly everything hit completely different. Fans started saying the truth was always right there, and the way Tracy cracked jokes that were really covering hurt, and the way she stayed quiet when she felt disrespected, and the way she kept showing up even when the room made her feel unwanted. And Tamar said that's exactly why she's speaking up now, because she refuses to let the world remember Tracy as the left-out sister. She wants people to understand Tracy was the heartbeat of the whole family. Tamar explained that Tracy deserved way more love, way more protection, and way more recognition than she ever got. And what makes Tamar's words hit so strong is that she's not exposing this to tear the family apart. She's doing it because she wants healing. She said the Braxtons weren't broken because they didn't love each other. They were broken because they didn't fully understand each other. And that misunderstanding kept growing over the years. And now, with Tracy gone, Tamar says she hopes the truth finally helps the family find the closure they never gave themselves. She wants fans to know that Tracy wasn't sacrificed by choice. She was pushed aside by an industry that picks favorites, stirs division, and forces families into impossible decisions they end up regretting for the rest of their lives. And Tamar ended her message by saying Tracy deserved to be honored, not sidelined. She deserves spotlight, support, and protection. All the things that slipped through the cracks while the industry shaped the narrative. And now that everything is out in the open, Tamar hopes people will remember Tracy not as the sister who got left behind, but as the sister who loved the hardest, fought the quietest, and carried a strength nobody truly understood until later. She wants the world to say her name with respect, not pity, to recognize how much she gave, how much she endured, and how much she should have received in return. Tamar said speaking the truth is the only way she can make sure Tracy's legacy shines the way it always should have. And if you're still here listening to this story, hit that support button, join the community, and make sure you subscribe to Juicy Reel for more real, raw breakdowns just like this.